Pigs are adorable. Many Americans own them as household pets, whether it's for meat purposes or just to have a pet pig. Contrary to popular beliefs, they are actually very clean animals. The part that is dirty about them is their diet. They will eat almost anything. Additionally, they can be very friendly with fantastic personalities. However, wild boar are much different. While domestic pigs have been genetically modified to be less harmful, gain more fat, and essentially lower their IQ, wild boar are extremely smart, dangerous, and can cause serious health issues for humans. The two species are very different, and this is not widely known. I'll get more into this later on. But first, let's learn their history. Wild boar are not indigenous to the area. They were brought over by Hernando de Soto as an easy meal source. They were great because of how environmentally adaptable they are, so the idea was to set the boar out in the wild, and when it was time to eat, you go out, hunt one, and you have fresh meat and don't need to spend money and feed to contain the pigs. Some, however, were kept in cages. Inevitably, some of these pigs escaped. Over time, the completely wild boar and domestic boar bred, so now we have wild boar, slightly more domesticated boar, and a mix of the two running free. This is not a huge concern, just something to be aware of. In Louisiana alone during 2014, wild pigs cost farmers roughly $53 million in production loss and the overall economy an additional $21 million. Given that this research is now 6 years old, these numbers are slightly larger, such as in Texas, they now cause about $400 million in damage annually. As a nation, they cause about $2.5 billion annually. Additionally, they pass on many diseases. In 2016, wild pork was served to a small party where the meat contained trichinosis. 9 people needed to be hospitalized, and 2 of which were put in ICU. They also pass on E. coli, which occurs when the pigs wallow and nibble on farmers' crops such as spinach, which then gets put in the grocery stores and harms many people. They're also a huge danger in vehicular collisions. Aside from many car accidents per year, they've been known to destroy airplanes on runways. In the 1980s, a National Guard jet was taking off when 2 wild pigs decided to try and race the jet on the runway. The front landing gear rammed into the pigs, they became runway paint. The pilot was luckily able to eject, but the plane crashed, totaling $16 million in damages. Female pigs have about 5 to 6 piglets per litter, but the number has been reported as high as 15. Additionally, they have a litter roughly every 6 months and are sexually mature between 6 to 8 months in age, but sometimes even earlier. As you can see, their population rate is just exponential. Part of the issue on their expansion is that they are fun to hunt. They're dangerous, which provides a thrill, a challenge to track, which furthers the excitement, and they taste great. Many people hunt boar because they provide so much meat that they can use it as their meat supply for the whole year. Furthermore, there's no limit on how many boar you can hunt per year, and their hunting season is year-round. So with these laws, it seems like the pigs don't stand a chance, right? Well, not exactly. Because of the thrill that so many people enjoy hunting these animals, it promotes breeding these things. People got smart and figured if they promoted pig habitat in their area, they could then lead hunting tours and be sure to make some money. People will go to a dense pig population and take a few alive, bring them back to their home, and set them free. Well, if people are relocating them to places that are not their natural habitat, they won't be able to survive, right? Turns out this is not the case. Because they're so adaptable, the pigs end up thriving and continuing their exponential breeding cycle. So far, everywhere these pigs have been relocated, they've thrived. They're pretty much indestructible. Okay, so yeah, they cause damage, but they're a living being. Everything deserves life, even if it's inconvenient, right? Well, Asher Albin said it best in his statement, "I live in New York City. Sometimes I have to deal with rats. If the rats were 400 pounds and attacking my house in gangs of 30 to 50, I just feel like it would be a topic of conversation." So what is being done in my home state, California? Not much. It's entirely up to the rancher. Luckily, most ranches are eligible to get a depredation permit, which allows us to hunt at night and without a pig tag, but the ammo is expensive and the time is exhausting. There are a few wildlife managers throughout the state that are government funded and help local ranches with the issue, but they can only do so much given there's only a couple of them. In Texas, their wild boar population is significantly more than here in California. Their government is funding 50 cents per tail you bring in, and there's a much larger hunting demand. People are paying up to $1,000 per person to hop in a helicopter to hunt the wild boar. In Texas, there's so many and they move so quick that the helicopter comes in handy. Luckily, there's hope. With the help of the USDA and countless other organizations, Colorado was able to make their state hog-free after years of a tough battle. It took the government everything they had, as well as loosening almost all restrictions on hunting them. This was a great case study to show how this extreme feat can be accomplished, but it will take the efforts of everyone. With all this talk about hunting, what other alternatives do we have? Well, there's a few oral pills being tested that would solve this issue much faster. The issue with the pills is that they've been issued in the past and the pigs would die a slow, painful death of blood oozing out of every orifice in their body. Furthermore, once an animal would eat that dead pig, that animal would become poisoned. These pills were quickly banned. Although there is one pill in development that restores some hope. Essentially, it is birth control. These pigs would swallow this pill and it would stop them from breeding, thus quickly dampening their population, allowing the hunters to go in and finish the job. So far, this sounds like the most humane, cost-effective way to solve this issue. However, scientists have yet to come up with the pill. Another alternative is something that sounds completely counterintuitive, but in theory it holds water. Get this, we ban hunting wild boar altogether. I know, how the heck would this solve our issue? Their numbers would just grow larger. Well, the theory is that if no one could hunt them anymore, there wouldn't be a demand for breeding and relocating them, thus slowing their spread. Then certain officials are allowed to hunt and decrease their population. However, although many economists and scientists agree this would be the most effective method, it is extremely unlikely to happen. By banning one of the most exciting animals to hunt nationwide would cause an uproar. People would still poach these animals and create a much more dangerous work environment for the game wardens. So what the hell do we do? Although most answers point to the eradication of these pigs, that's also difficult. And if anyone has any idea on how to keep the pigs around without them tainting our water supply, destroying agriculture production, wallowing and transferring parasites to other species, everyone is all ears.